Hello everyone, this is Anne from Odulcina. This is the new fabric collection 2025. So it's available now on my website and I'm very happy to tell you that I fixed the shipping issue for the US. Of course, on fabric there's the tariff of 35%, so the fabric is a little bit more costly for US. But when you look at it, like the exchange rate between the Canadian dollar and the US dollar, let's say if that can help you Americans, your price is just Canadian with the tariffs, because we have a 30 some percent difference in the rate of our dollar value. So you pay the Canadian price with the tariff, kind of. Anyway, I created 3 bundles. One that is the whole collection, and everything is the size of half a fat quarter, so you can have everything without a real pricey cost. You have one that is just the florals, and you have one that is all the ephemera type of and the neutral background. So I'm gonna show you all of those. I've put a sari silk, a fancy yarn, and a cheesecloth, just that matches everything. Well, mostly everything. And these are bundles, but you can buy them all individually by pieces. So half a fat quarter is that size. Let me show you how it is. It is like a 20 inches by about 14 inches. And if you want in centimeters, it's about 51 centimeters by 35. So there's one piece only that I sell by fat quarter, and it's the neutral background. I'm going to show you at the end this one. Everything else, I sell them by pieces of half a fat quarter. So you get more choices for the same money. All right, look at that. I did kind of a big collage. The idea here is if we need a bigger piece, we kind of have a big piece, and if we want to work on little pieces of fabrics, we can. So this, you recognize the collection, right? I have the digital kit for that one, but I played a little bit with how I place the decoration elements so they're not too much on the sides, because we want to be able to tear the fabric and play with that. The color is just perfect. It's a beigey, yellowish. It's supposed to be gold, but you know, there's no printing. There's no gold printing unless you have a special manufacturer that does that. So, but the pink is just a perfect little pink that we love. First choice. The other one, again, perfect pink. And you have a stripe here that you can cut into smaller pieces. You have big ephemera pieces where you can add embroideries. You have a big piece here to do like a junk journal cover or 2 junk journal cover, because you can tear at the middle those elements. And I start playing with that. You're gonna have the video coming very soon, but this is what I'm doing with those things. Create little clusters. I didn't emboss anything yet, but this is the girl here. I could just add some embroidery before or after. Right now I just played a little bit with just a sewing machine, or it could be glue. This fabric, I have it with the Little House fabric, but I love it so much that I thought I want a bigger piece of that. And then I completed the fabric with those dressmaker. So they can be like, for a junk journal cover, you add embroideries, you add laces, and you have those two little ephemeras that you can just do little snippets out of it, add embroideries again. Keep in mind, I always want to add embroideries. So, but it's not mandatory. But my goal is to add embroideries or slow stitching and, you know, decorate other fabrics that you might have in your slow stitching or quilting or junk journal cover projects. So this one, I'll show you, I'll fold into two so you can see well on the good side. But you have like, my favorite ephemera is kind of the birds, this, an antique wallpaper stripes. And here on that side, you have those postcards, the birds again, and that page, that music sheet with the hummingbirds. It is so cute. So you can use this to create a junk journal cover, but you can just pick little pieces, you know, just little pieces. So everything is you can take them as a whole. Well, the ephemeras, you kind of have to pick them as a whole. But the big pieces of collage like that, you can tear them down in smaller pieces. Now, this is the floral collection. Look at that. Perfect pink, perfect green. I just love it. Let me zoom. So they are like a medium size, not too big, not too small. My challenge I found over the time when I'm looking for fabric, it's always to find tiny designs. So the perfect little pink again, and this one I couldn't decide if I wanted tiny like that or just a little bit bigger. So you have both choices, the really tiny version and the bigger one. Let me zoom in. Now, it all started with those next two fabric. This one, I loved it so much when I designed it for the lace holder bookmark ladies that I worked hours to make it like a repeatable pattern and create a fabric out of it. Look at that. It is light pink, peachy, burgundy, the greens, the background that is dark green, blackish. I just love the vibes of that one. It's kind of a new style for me, but it is so Victorian, so delicate, so feminine, and you still have the light pink there. You have this one that I made a little bit smaller in sizes for the roses. They're not the same roses, but they're mostly all pink here. And then you have this big one that is only available by fat quarter. Let me show you by half of it. Do you see the pink rose paradises there? I'm so in love with this one. It's a big collage with music sheets, fake laces, designs, and again, music sheets everywhere. And it is to be teared down in little pieces. It's kind of a neutral background for any of your creations, clusters, collage. Yeah, and I'm very, very happy that the yellow and the beige and all those neutral tones are perfect. Very, very neutral and just perfect. It matches everything. So in my fabric bundles, you have just like the equivalent of this piece, like half a fat quarter. just to be like in this bundle of all the ephemeras, you have it, but just like a piece like this, half a fat quarter. But if you order it on the website, this one comes by fat quarters, so that means the whole thing. All right, anyway, I don't think you have too much of that one. It's kind of a winner. And then I have fussy cut fabric. This is for making slow stitching or fussy cuts by fabric, or adding embroideries around and laces around. So one with all of my favorite peonies and roses in the watercolor style, and with those ladies. And I've put like a background to the ladies because we don't know how we want to use them, but definitively we can take this design and fussy cut around and add it in our slow stitching or embroidery projects. That's what I'm thinking. But we can as well take the piece, add laces around, and make it part of a bigger project. So I really tried to think how I would use those beautiful designs, and so they can be very versatile in different kind of projects. And these are my favorite Victorian elements: books, boots, hats. You have enough fabric around to use them in snippets or add embroideries like I have with my other fabrics of little girls and Victorian ladies. But my goal for this one is to fussy cut them and add them to a project as a fussy cut, but a fabric fussy cut. Yeah, so I'll have fun with this. And this is not the new collection. It's a repeat of my previous. This was part of my initial, the first ever fabric that I've created. It's from the dressing room, right? But I've been able to get the pink, the perfect pink, not peachy at all, very, very pinky. This is all vintage graphics, so it looks like a faded and vintage fabric once you'll have washed it. This has not been washed. Let me show you the difference. And this is the fabric when you wash it. Washing machine, dryer machine, and it tightens the fabric, and the fabric becomes a little bit more heavy cotton. It is a heavy cotton anyway. And listen to that. It just makes the perfect sound. It is the best cotton fabric you can find. You won't be disappointed with that. So this is the new version, and you can now buy it just by half a fat quarter. So if you want more of it, you just buy 2 or 3 pieces. So you have more of each. But that's it. This is to create little clusters, bigger ephemera pieces, adding embroideries, adding laces. You have some lovely words to use as little labels in your fabric projects. Here we go. So go have a look on my website. They're all there, available, ready for you to pick. Thanks for your support. Thanks for watching. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.